technology has completely taken over this industry in the sense that, self-taping is now more and more prevalent.
And it is something you've got to get to grips with, and get to grips with it quickly. And we're probably going to talk about self-tapes more and more and more, because the first time you probably won't be meeting casting directors anymore. You'll be getting emails via your agent to put yourself on tape. So that means you don't necessarily have to be in London. But I think when you've got that self-tape and you've nailed it, be prepared, the next meeting will be coming up to town.
It's quite hard with self-taping because you just get one version of a person, with that. But it's certainly in film and TV, I would say it's, in my experience at least, half, if not more, of the meetings you would have would not be meetings at all. It would just be you going on tape. And you do that yourself. So actually that's a whole skill set which actors of my generation are really having to try and keep up with. But the advantages of that is that you don't even have to be in the same country necessarily to audition for something. A lot of self-tapes you'll get will be for things in America. It's advantageous that is the case. But
now there's two kinds of self-tapes. There's that self-tape where they absolutely request it because it's a brilliant idea. And there's the other self-tape where I've been on the phone saying, oh, come on, he's 6'5", he's blonde, he's built like a brick shithouse, and you're looking for Thor. Why are we having this conversation? Because I sometimes joke and say, I'm sitting on the end of my phone waiting with my pen in my hand, and they come, okay, they'll give us it. And I always tell the client, it's a real push on this, so I need it to be better than good.
Right.
It's communication, you've got to keep communication. And then, but with the older clients, and that's usually people our age. Yeah. I'm not looking at you because I don't know how old you are, but about 50, 52, I'll go, oh no, they want to be in the room, I get that, but it's not happening. It's just not happening. So I'm now looking at the self-tapes, and that's what I want. I want that blank wall. I want them to be appropriately dressed without being in costume, something, and just do a good take. And to be quite honest, it allows me, I always ask them to get it to me a day or a couple of hours before it's due in, and if it's not good enough, I'll send it back to the client.
My agency now have, probably the same as you, they have a specific thing on their website where I upload my self-tape to their website. They edit it down and put a name on the front and, and send them off as a package, which makes my life a lot easier. But I've invested in a tripod, and I've got a backdrop, which is one of those, bit like those tents that you kind of fold and you go like that, which is great because if you don't have a white wall like that in a room, it's quite useful. If you go on Amazon, you can buy, I've got 2 lights, which you set up, and for about 60 quid, they're all cheap stuff, but you can actually, if you wanted to, just get that, because sometimes if you're relying on natural light, it can be difficult. Because there's people making a lot of money out of self-tapes who have studios. You come in and you spend £200 to do a self-tape.
There's some people who use their iPads or iPhones. There's actually a few apps on your iPhones that you can use. I've got a very good camera, a little digital camera that I bought, and a tripod, and a white wall, and a good light. I kind of invested in that because it's the way it's going. And I've just kind of learned so with my camera I can link it to my phone and start it on my phone, so I don't have to quickly go behind and then frame myself again. That's the more technical side of it. The hard bit is when you have to read with someone and you don't have somebody there. But then again, there is a Facebook group for that where you write in, I need someone to read with me, and someone will either Skype you or they'll come and meet you and they'll do it with you.
So there's a Facebook group?
Yeah, it's called Self-Tapes.
Okay.
The camera on your phones will easily be good enough because they're not expecting kind of professional standard. The thing to do is, you need to learn it, ideally, and obviously, as you were saying, finding someone who can maybe read with you if possible. Now, most people have got a mate who can stand behind the camera, but even then, there's apps, I think, on your phone where you can read the other person's lines, and then your phone will read the lines back to you while you're doing it, because they're not really listening. They're not listening to the other person's lines. They want your response. So even if the lines off camera are a bit mumbled, they want your reaction, your response.
Then I've got them. I can see them, I can make a package and send it. I'm saying I do it, I get somebody else to do it. I don't even know how to turn on my computer those days.
You've got a geek who does it.
Oh,
there's definitely pros and cons. For me, it's something that I've had to get used to, and kind of I am one of those actors who went, Jesus, really, but as you say, if there's no other option, if they're saying, well, you either self-tape or you just don't go up for it, because there is no one in a room somewhere waiting to see you. Another thing you'll find is sometimes, I had to do a self-tape the other day, and I got the script the night before, and there was 8 pages of dialogue, and I'm like, I can't. I've got kids. I can't. But what you can do, and I do, is you can copy and paste the script onto an auto cue. That's what I do.
Yep.
Auto cue software on your computer, and put it on my laptop. So put it and try and set it far enough away so it doesn't look like you're reading. And set it. I mean, the thing is getting the speed right, because otherwise you run out. But you just roll it like that. You set it at the eye line you want to look at, and you just read it, because it's like, I can't learn 8 pages of dialogue overnight. It's just, sometimes I think that's one of the things that pisses me off about this, is that they do expect, we want you to learn it and you want it tomorrow, and it's like, well, sorry, I've got a life.
This is where, as agents, we do have to get tough, because we totally understand it, but I have to say it, it's what's required.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because, we can go to the casting director and say you can't learn it, and they go, but so-and-so has.
Right.
I've always said that.
Right.
I always had an actor who sent, who was doing a play up in, let's just say Northampton, and the casting director sent the material, and she sent it to me at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was awake, and he got it at 5 past. So when he woke up, he was there. He complained the next day, my agent didn't get me the script, and she went, I sent it at 1 o'clock in the morning, your agent sent it on at 25 past 1. So aren't you lucky?
Right.
Other people got it at 8 o'clock in the morning when they went online.
Yeah.
So it was like, and they'd all learnt it, so what's your excuse?
Yeah.
So it goes to show, people are, no, it's horrible, and I know it sounds like when people are ganging up on you, but somebody else in that room will have learnt it. There are some casting directors that are doing courses now. It's called the Self-Tape Challenge, and it's a good skill to get quite quickly, because if you send me something, Enzo, and I don't think it's right, and I know you're perfect, and you've done the work before, I will say, come on, I've seen you better than this, or you haven't read the script. The other thing is, please, 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 if you're in that wonderful situation where you've got a self-tape, and they've sent you the sides, and they've sent you the script, please make sure you read the script. I had a client went up to be put on tape for the new Young Wallander for a new regular. He went in, she went, you did a great reading. But you know what, when I asked him what he thought of the script, the director asked him, so I didn't read it. And I just know that there's no, I went, darling, at least you're honest with me. And then went on and I said, but that's never going to happen again.
Right.
It's not going to happen again. They sent the script for a reason. And don't be an actor where I have to tell you to read the script. I know it sounds boring and you've got other things going on in your life. I very well-known casting director is a very good friend of mine. He'd be reading scripts at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
To make sure when you guys come in, she's prepared for you.
Yeah.
So if she can do it, you lot can do it.
Right.
That's another big advice. That's a great bit of advice. Always read. There are loads of charity shops where they just sell scripts for £1 or £2. Get loads of scripts, download scripts, and read.
Right.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
There's a book called Golden Rules of Acting by Andy Nyman. It is a brilliant little book. It's really stunning little book, full of like 25 years of working knowledge, experience, little bullet points. You can read it in like half an hour. It's amazing. He's bringing out another one soon, and he sent me a draft of it the other day. And he talks about self-taping. I hate self-taping. I can't stand it. I think it's awful, but it is the way the industry's going. And like Matt just said, Andy puts it in the book. He says, imagine you go to an audition, the director and the casting director are in the room, you go in the room, they say, right, we're going to go out for half an hour, get yourself prepared, take as much time as you want, run it as many times as you need to do it, we'll come in, we'll have a look at what you've done. If you don't like it, we'll go out again, you can practice it again, we'll come back in, and we'll just keep going until you're happy. And once you're happy, we'll do it, and then you can go on your way. That's a self-tape. It's a self-tape. That's the way to kind of look at it. You have got that kind of luxury of getting it right, nailing it down. I mean, sometimes it is against the clock. Sometimes they're like, we need it in by 5 o'clock today.
Oh, yes.
But I kind of have to reframe my attitude about it because it is massive now.
Right.
And it can be a positive, definitely.
Pros and cons to it, I think, because if there's a director who is, kind of is open to someone and saying, oh, actually, let's try this a completely different way. Let's actually thinking you've done something here and it's just given me a thought. Actually, let's try and read it. And you're not going to get that with the self-tape because the self-tape, you get a brief breakdown of the character. He's X, Y, Z. These are the lines. we want it in an American accent, and you might do, and you'll only really send one take, so you might do it 8 or 9 times, and you'll take the one take you're happy with. There might be another scene in a different scenario, but the same character. You'll do that, and that's what you'll send off, because then you're not going to send 8 different takes. They're not going to watch it. They're going to watch one take, if that. So the pros of that is that you get many chances to do it. The cons are that you're not going to get a director who's going to say, "Oh, I've seen something that you've just changed my mind about this character."
It's like having a child, I would say, when you get a great script or a great project and your client's going on and you've worked for it, you're all excited. And it's like you put your child on school gates for the first day. I'm all excited, and they call it, "Oh, it didn't go very well. I just got nervous." And the director looked at me in a strange way. But now it's like we are in the room with you,
Yeah.
so we can look at it together. And me and my colleague go, "That's a good take. That needs to go immediately." And we will check up on that later. Has it been downloaded? Sometimes I'll meet somebody and I think, "You're perfect for a role that I've just seen." So I'll say, "But I don't know if you've got longevity in your career or where that's going to go." So sometimes you can give somebody a lift up by saying, "Look, I saw that script, I think this person's great, I got them to put themselves on tape,
Yeah.
Here it is." Making sure the person knows that it's not been requested specifically. But yeah, I think the whole self-tape will evolve, it becomes something else.
Yeah.